It's officially January 2026, which means we've initiated Operation Honeymoon Horsepower. I'm getting married in June 2027, next year, and we need to get the Brasilia ready for that wedding day. And this is the list of all the bits and pieces that need to be ticked off so the car is ready for my big day. What the f is that? Exterior, interior, chassis, and a parts list for Hula. Now, although the chassis is being used as a shelf in my garage at the moment, it is in a good place at the moment. However, there is still quite a lot to do on it, which we can get done whilst the body is in Surrey. But with that said, I have got the doors here. I'm a little bit apprehensive of how well this paint is actually going to strip off the door because it is proper thick with filler. I mean, look at that. Proper thick with filler. It's pretty rubbish, really. The bonnet had a massive patch of filler in the middle. Obviously the paint stripper can't attack that. But I think the best thing to do is just key it all up, cover it in paint stripper, strip the top, get as much of that off as possible, and then try and do the sides of the door, and then we need to tackle the mess inside. We can't do any sanding, so paint stripping it is for today, and we'll see what base we are left with after that. So let's crack on with it. These are the tools we need to do this job. Starting off with a screw, I key up the surface. This actually allows the paint stripper to sort of attack further deep into them paint levels, which help the chemical reaction pull more paint off when it comes to actually scraping it off. But because there's a chemical reaction, we need to use a plastic sheet to cover it up that contains all them gases, which makes this process really effective. Once that's sat for a few minutes, we can then uncover it. Using a Stanley blade and a scraper, we can make a start scraping the paint off. Because we've keyed up the surface beforehand, the paint stripper has dug right into that paint, sliding the paint off as easy as it is like that. It does look like I've worked at one of them rolled ice cream stands, the way it's concertinaing up like that. And I will be honest, this was a very therapeutic, very enjoyable part of the process. I knew this side was going to be much easier than the underside because obviously it's just a flat surface. There's lots of divots and grooves and recesses on the underside of the door, as well as being absolutely covered in wax oil. As you may be able to tell by the floor, we have scraped a good portion of the paint off. However, we need to do the underside as well. Now, I've done a good majority of it. A lot of it has come off, however, there was a couple of patches that needed a bit of work, which I've added some more paint stripper to. But I just thought, whilst that's doing its thing on that side, we'll just get some paint stripper on the underside here. Now the inside of this door is absolutely covered in wax oil, so I'm just going to put a dab on there and just see how well that actually comes off, because if I'm honest, I don't really know what the best product is going to be to try and get that off. So if I brush some of that on there, we can see if it attacks that. So I need to cover this all over. This is going to be the most awkward part because it is really finicky, really fiddly, intricate. And this is going to be a sanding job really, more than anything. But it's worth getting as much paint stripper on where we can, because they're doing most of the work for us. Now obviously I want to wish everyone a happy new year. It is now January 2026, and like I said already, we need to get this done for June next year because I'm getting married, believe it or not. And I want this car to be outside the doors when I walk out of the wedding ceremony. I want to get in it and I want to drive me and Shania off into the distance in that awesome Brasilia fully refurbished, reliable. Wow, it doesn't matter too much if it breaks down, but it'd just be cool, I think. This car is such a big part of my life, so why shouldn't it be on one of the biggest days of my life, my wedding? So I think that would be really cool. So we're going to have to get stuck in this year and get this thing done, or as close to as possible. I mean, if the interior is not all finished, I mean, it's not too bad as long as it looks good on the outside. This is such a mess. What an absolute mess this is. We've got our work cut out, Kaz. Absolutely got our work cut out, that is for sure. I think the best plan of attack here is to have the doors sandblasted all around them edges. That's really going to reveal the true extent of rust and damage around the outskirts. It's going to make it the most efficient in terms of time. It'll be a bit more expensive, but it is what it is. And then we can focus on the front and the back, sanding them back with a bit of 240 or 180, getting some edge primer on it. And then it's ready to head back up to Surrey for them to weld it up. I made a video ages ago when we were cutting out the rot in the rear quarter, and I said Volkswagen are to blame. I'm blaming Volkswagen for that too.
And this is where it all went a little bit wrong and my mood fell off a cliff. When you're prepping paint for doors, you shouldn't have a hammer and a screwdriver in your hand. Ideally you want a bit of sandpaper, but here we're having a full go at doing some stonemasonry by chipping off the thick layer of filler that was on this door. It was never ending. This whole bottom strip was absolutely just full of chud. The reality is, this can be fixed, and it isn't the end of the world. But it is just another hurdle, just another thing, another bit of rust that we have to fix. More stress and more pressure on a really tight deadline. A year sounds like a long time, but with the amount of jobs we have to do, any little setback could ruin that for us. And this was the moment it got really bad. Just look at this.
I have no words. What the f is that? That makes the first door look really decent. What a mess. Just as I let that have one more coat of paint stripper, I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where it's going to be a two-part episode. Now, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, smash the thumbs up button, smash the subscribe button down below. Please come back for parts 2, where hopefully we have a little bit more success with these doors. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.